So welcome back. We're in conversation with Lynn Andrews. And Lynn, did you want to continue anything from what we were talking about, or do we want to go in another
No,
direction?
let's go in another
Okay.
direction.
Um, Janet, do you have questions or a
Well,
question?
I would like to go toward the healing work that shamans do. And
Okay.
you mentioned earlier in the show how you, as a child, were able to see where people were hurting. The physical body would show you, where they were in pain and that type of thing.
Right.
Which brings up the thought then, as a shaman now, what are you doing as a healer, or how do you do your healing work as a shaman? Is there different types of work that you do, that kind of thing?
Well, I give events for one thing. And
Mhm.
in the events, I give people an experience of healing. I work with art, say,
Mhm.
and I'll do meditations, I'll do visualizations that lead you to a certain place of learning. People say, oh, that's just your imagination. Well, I have news for you. What you imagine is real. And so when you're imagining, when you're working with other levels of consciousness, say, we talk a lot about first attention, which is the physical world, second attention, which is the world just beyond the physical world. If you go into dreaming, say,
Mhm.
move into second attention. And then there's the unknowable, which is third attention, which is like the etheric world, sort of, for want of a better definition. And so in the physical world, you have issues of stress. I talked to you about the two different kinds of female energy. If you are a rainbow mother energy and you've been thrown into a job, a secretary, say, that's very hard for you. So if I knew that when you came to me and a person came to me and was working with me, I would see that they were a rainbow mother, and yet here they were in this confined situation that was uncomfortable. And I would talk to her about that. And there's probably the basis of her stress. And if the stress is big enough, it turns into dis-ease. And dis-ease, of course, you can see in the body, it gets blocked. For instance, in the heart, if you've had a broken heart, in the broken heart or the area of heart stress, it ruins or keeps you from usually successful relationships. I'd work with that. I'd work with their heart. I'd move their consciousness into their heart. I would teach them about the fact, scientifically fact, that there is a mind in the heart, and that the mind and the heart transfers images and teachings to the brain. And the brain translates that and uses that. The electromagnetic heart is 50 times greater than the electromagnetic field around the brain, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
And very interesting. So someone really can die of a broken heart, say. And we've all had our hearts beat on a couple times, I'm sure. and as a result of that, energy will stick there. You have the chakra energy, the base energy, and you move up through your system, through the chakra system, and you go to the heart. If the heart has been injured and you haven't dealt with it, it may just sit there. And if it sits there, it accumulates energy and it doesn't flow, and it creates stress, and it creates oftentimes a disease. And so, dis-ease, I'd rather say, but I work, in other words, I work around the wheel with that person. What's your physical manifestation of the loves in your life? What's your dream love? What do you really want from a relationship? What do you want spiritually?
Mhm.
And then over here in mind, what do you think about all of this, and so forth. That's the way I heal. If somebody can talk about what is bothering them, a lot of people don't know what's bothering them. Just something's bothering them. My stomach hurts, they say to me. And I'll say, well, what is there in your life that you can't stomach? And they'll laugh and they'll go, well, there's this and this and this. And then we talk about what we can do about that. How do you shift that? How do you shift the way you look at something? How do you shift your conception of what you're looking at? And so that's the way I work with people oftentimes. Sometimes I'll work with them with my hands, but for the most part, not.
Yeah.
I really do. I have a power deck, which is a fabulous oracle deck, and I'll have them draw a card. And actually, that fabulous artist that lives on Whidbey Island did a different painting for each card. And then you turn the card over, and it has teachings on the other side that relate to the painting.
Do you have the card sitting there close by?
I don't.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, unless Diane is, I don't know where she went. I don't. It's unfortunate because they're fabulous. They're gorgeous, beautiful. Each one is different. And I don't know why his name just slipped away from me. I'll think of it in a minute. But the artist is one of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah. Now, this way of healing, is this what you call the process of experience? Is that?
When you heal through the process of experience.
Okay, gotcha.
In other words, if you have a lack of self-worth, I could tell you that all day long, and you go, yeah, I know, it comes up once in a while. But you don't really hear it. You have to have something that takes you into the experience. So let's say you come to my event at the end of May, and I'm going to be working on how wisdom comes, and I'm going to work on relationship. And we're all in relationships that are good and some that are not so good. And I show you how to work with that, for instance. I show you how to be a healer for yourself. And then I have a shaman school that is a 4-year school. I wrote the curriculum for the entire 4 years. And the shaman school is fabulous because it works with you from the beginning. And it's designed to teach you no matter where you are in the world. It's a school without walls. And you don't have to go to a campus. And you bring this teaching into your life. And as you're working with these things, you live them, you bring them into your life, and you see, oh my God, what am I doing? I never even realized I was doing that. And you're taught tools. Drumming, for instance, is a wonderful tool. Say somebody's never heard of shamanism, and they go, sounds woo-woo to me. And I'll say, well, everything's mysterious and wonderful in this life. Everything's magical. If you don't believe in magic, magic is certainly not going to happen in your life.
Absolutely,
so,
I agree.
So I hand them a drum, and I have a drum, and I start doing a very quiet heartbeat, and the heartbeat begins to develop. And it's a wonderful way for someone to be doing something, and yet they're creating something of beauty. I work every time I ever give an event. I have you go away with something that you've created that is beautiful. I don't care what it is, a drum, a shield, an energy painting, a vessel of some kind out of a gourd or clay or something. So that you walk away with something that tells you about the event that you just lived through.
That's great. So in your book, you talk about animal spirit guides.
Yes.
And you just mentioned something about magic. And I know for me, we were doing an interview a week or so ago, and a woman who's a medium said that she was working with someone, and their dog who had died, the spirit of the dog showed up, which is like, I had heard about dog ghosts before, but never a dog communicating with a medium. So can you talk about animal spirits and what that is and how prevalent that is?
Well, I do something almost every event I give, and it's finding your power animal. and working with animal spirit, of course, but it's finding your power animal. What does that mean? When you are born, there's a power animal that comes with you that you may sense. You might say, oh, my favorite animal is a deer. And yet you're this incredible, very predatory person. And deer would not be your power animal.
It is mine, however.
Or a bear, or something predatory, coyote. People who are deer and elk and moose people who horses are grazers. They're a different kind of power than a predatory power, or the field mouse, one of the most powerful animals you can have. Doesn't seem like it, but it is a very, very powerful animal. Mm-hmm. And so I teach this because it's part of your original nature that you came in with. And through society and families, we lose that original nature. So when you have a ceremony for finding your power animal, you do a deep meditation. And you go into the area, into the lower world where the power animals live. And a power animal will show itself to you from 4 different directions. And so often people come up with a power animal they didn't know they had. And when you come up with it, you dance it, and all this with wonderful music. I always create this environment for you to learn from music and teaching and sacred fires and everything. And I talk about that in Coming Full Circle, the importance of finding beauty. Beauty is really, beauty is truth. And I believe that. Well, believe that. I know that. And the reason I hesitate using the word belief is that when you have a belief, you are limiting yourself. You have a fence around your consciousness, and you can't go across that consciousness, that fence. You know?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So one of the first shields that I ever got from my teachers was a beautiful shield. And there was red on the top and blue on the bottom, and a line across the middle and a little circle in the center for self. And it represented faith and belief. Faith at the top, belief at the bottom. And it showed me how there is such a difference between faith and belief. That faith is part of your knowing. Belief is a mental construct that has been given to you somehow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, belief is constricting, and faith is expansive, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's part of your soul. Yeah. Faith is something that you have faith that the sun is going to come up every morning. You don't believe it. You have faith in it. You can believe it, but that's not really what it is. You know?
Sure.
Yeah. So, anyway, I think it's a very important thing, and I lecture quite a bit on that, because belief can limit you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So how do our spirit guides, if they're animals, how do they help us?
They help you be your authentic self. They help you, they give you strength. They look through your eyes, and or you can look through theirs. You're going for an important interview, say. Mm-hmm. And you bring your power animal along with you, obviously, because he's always with you. And you ask for assistance. You ask for help. Creatures on the other side, whether it's spirit beings, angels, when you want help, you need to say, I need help. Help me with this. You need to say, I need this now. You need to help me with this event. I'm feeling tired. Help me with the energy, etc. And they do.
There's actually been times in my life where I've been struggling with something. It can be anything, and all of a sudden an animal will actually appear in real life. I mean, I had my Mayan symbol, astrology symbol is deer, is 2 deer. And there was a time where I was considering what was I going to do with my life, and I had the answer, but I wasn't quite sure it was that answer. And I live on an island, but there are deer on this island, and suddenly 2 deer walked into my field of view in my front yard, which is on the bay. And I was so stunned by that I knew that there was an answer inherent in that question that I had asked, and it showed up in the outer world. Is that what you would still consider a spirit guide, or is that something else that of magical sort of?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably a spirit guide. Saying, okay, what's taking you so long, for God's sake? It's time. And I'm telling everybody that this is time. We put off learning about things. We need to know about this ancient way of knowledge. And it's so powerful and so important. It's like you, Roger, opening up Osho and seeing these statements that suddenly probably changed you a bit. Because they were like, they validated you in some way, and that's what we all need. We need to do the homework that we haven't done, whether it's taking my courses. I do online courses, I teach writing, but the shaman school, it's so important. And the writing school is too. I mean, everything. I've learned so much, and it's a gift to you. I give this to you to experience. I've learned ways of teaching, I think, that truly help people.
Yeah. So that brings us to, I really enjoyed our time together, but I really want to give you some time now to tell us, or tell our listeners, how they can find information out about you, your classes that you're doing or workshops. You said you have an event in May. What's the best place for people to go to get information?
LynnAndrews.com is my website.
And it's LYNN, Andrews.com.
Andrews. And I have my books there. You can go up on Amazon. And my books are certainly there. But you get more of them on my own website. You can find out information if you just sign up, like my Facebook. Just sign up, or just, like it and go to my website and sign up. Just give me your email address and I can send you information. I can send you the In Spirit newsletter, which is a teaching. You will see that there are teachings on the website all the time.
Yeah.
And I I'm probably going to take people to Scotland in July. I usually go on a trip. I'm sorry, Scotland.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
We're going to Scotland, and I'm sorry?
Tell us about that trip. What's the purpose of that trip?
The purpose of going to Scotland is it's a very spiritual journey. We're going to Rosslyn Cathedral, which is Mary Magdalene, a whole thing of the Da Vinci Code. Remember?
Yeah.
Well, Rosslyn Chapel is where they ended up, and it was Mary Magdalene, childhood, all of this stuff. It was also, it's very clear that Jesus and Mary Magdalene went to Scotland, traveled there. And there are beautiful sites and beautiful secret places that the woman that we're going to go with lives there. And she knows the fairy trees, the glens, and the fabulous buildings that are not on the usual tourist track. And, we have lunch in a beautiful castle, and then we go, hiking down into the valleys, and it's beautiful. And it's an inspiration, a renewal of the spirit. And it's about magic and how you see it coming up out of Mother Earth in a different way than we have it. Just different, not better, just different.
Correct.
And people can find that out about that trip on your website as well?
Absolutely. I think we're leaving on the 11th of July. I believe that's right.
Mm-hmm.
We're just forming it, so forgive me.
Okay, good.
And my school, the most, it's just such an important thing. The shamanic school, Lynn Andrews School for Sacred Arts and Training, is signing up now, and you can be anywhere in the world. It's it's a school without walls, and it is just an incredible gift to people. If only that had been there when I was searching for answers about things. And so that's beginning, and I just can't say enough about how important it is. It's not a belief. It's just understanding the energy that we're made of and what we do with it.
That's awesome.
Important.
Yeah, I think that's really important. What's next for you, Lynn?
Well, we're going to Scotland. I'm writing another. It's Scotland. We're going to Scotland.
To Scotland, and, the Highlands.
Yes, and that's going to be fun. Really, really fun.
Did you say you're writing another book?
I'm writing another book. Yes, I'm in the process of it, and it's not like coming full circle is talking about various things in my life, kind of putting all the things together. Where have I been, and now I'm kind of coming full circle. What does that mean, coming full circle, and what that means in your life, finding the magic in your life, finding different teachings that are important about self-worth and about abuse, about sacred things like duende, which is a Portuguese word, I believe, for the ever-present sense of death, meaning making death your ally instead of terrified of death. And not knowing what death is. There's a huge population of people moving into that time when they're going, I'm not looking at becoming 30, I'm looking at becoming 70 and 80, yike, and you don't know.
Some of us know about that, huh, Janet?
Yeah, but well, you're looking at 50.
He's looking at 60. I'm looking somewhere.
I'm looking beyond that.
Well, it is an interesting time, isn't it? I mean, you're
in so many ways.
Well, 50 and 60 is the new 30 and 40. I mean, come on.
That's right.
We can choose how young we want to be.
That's right.
Oh, yes, darling. Yes, we can. And it is the way you think. And, and no question about that.
Yes.
It's your point of view. And that's what the Power Deck does. I wish I had it here. But anyway, you can see that online. You can see it on Amazon. You can see it on my website.
And that's called the Power Deck? Is that what it's called? Yeah. It's
a great teaching, wonderful tool for you to have. If you don't do anything else, for heaven's sake, have the power.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to go take a look at it as soon as we hang up because I think I've seen it, but I can't remember. So I just want to refresh my memory about it.
You know what? If you go up on the website, you can get the Power Deck online.
Oh, nice.
So you have a card that you can pull every day, which is great too.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But I think having the Power Deck is the best of all.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. These decks can be teaching tools for you,
Oh my God, yes.
And ways to open yourself up and so many magical ways. That's right. I love the magicalness of the work that you do, of the stories that you tell in this book. The book, again, is coming full circle, available on Lynn's website or via Amazon, you said, right?
Yes.
All right.
Or your local bookstore.
Yeah, or your local book. If you can find a bookstore near you, probably available there as well.
Local bookstores, God bless them.
Yes.
We can keep them surviving.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I do like my Kindle, but there is nothing better than the feel of a book. Right?
That's right.
There's just something really magical about a book itself.
Yes.
So, well, Lynn, thank you so much for joining us today. We have had a wonderful chat with you. Is there anything in closing that you would like to impart to our listeners before we let you go?
Well, I think one thing is very important, and people don't want to hear this, and they're going to think that's not spiritual at all. But I think that people need to know what's going on in the world today. We've been polarized in this country. It's really a shame, because if we're a Democrat, we don't want to listen to the Republicans, and vice versa, or free thinkers, or libertarian, and all this stuff, and religions, and all of the things, how we polarize and place fences around our consciousness. It's a tragedy. And I think you need to know what's going on in the world. Truly know. You have to dig for it. It isn't just your nighttime news, although that helps. But I think you have to find threads that are of interest to you, and look and study them. For God's sake, you have a moment in this lifetime. And it is time to study your spiritual life, because this incarnation is about relativity. I can touch you. I can experience you. I can experience God and the goddess in this lifetime. You don't always have that when you pass on from this earth walk. And we are in crisis, no question. We just don't want to look at it. It's so easy to say, oh, please, I just want to enjoy my life. And in a sense, that's true. Enjoy your life like you never have. Just grab a hold of it and enjoy it from every aspect. That's what I would say. And certainly know what is it that I came here to learn? What is it? And go learn it.
And be your authentic self.
Absolutely.
Lynn Andrews did it. We can too.
That's right.
Right.
Well, thank you, Lynn, so much for being with us. We really appreciate it.
Yes,
Roger,
we do.
thank you so very, very much. I appreciate it. And both of you are fabulous.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for giving us a voice in the world.
You are most welcome. All right. Thank you so much for joining us today on Empower You. And thank you, Lynn, again for joining us. And join us again next week when we'll take you on another Empower You adventure. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.